I found out my husband was trying to steal my house on my birthday. 34 years old, standing in my own kitchen, silently calculating how many lies it takes to collapse a marriage. It was a Wednesday, gray Seattle morning, the kind that makes even coffee taste tired. Evan was already gone. Always left early. Said it was to beat traffic. But I think he just didn't want the silence with me in it anymore. Our house was small, but mine. A modest 2-bedroom I bought after 7 years of budgeting, coupon clipping, saying no to everything that sparkled. I was proud of that house, still am. Every dime of the down payment, I paid it myself. No help from my parents, no inheritance, just slow, boring discipline. My dad called it freedom insurance. But when Evan and I got married 2 years ago, I let him move in. It felt natural. What's mine is ours, right? At least, I wanted to believe that. Now, hands wrapped around a chipped mug, staring at the backyard I'd once dreamed of turning into a garden. I couldn't shake Elaine's voice from the night before. "You're so fortunate, Nari," she'd said. That tone of hers syrupy, with just a hint of lemon. "Some women never get to build a home. Others just marry into one." I didn't reply. Just smiled. The way you smile when the dentist is about to start drilling. Elaine, my mother-in-law, she had a gift for weaponizing gratitude. She'd remind you of what you had, then subtly imply it was never really yours to begin with. And Kelsey, Evan's sister, she'd been hovering a lot lately too, 3 years younger than me, but looked older. Like life had scuffed her up harder to divorces, a bankruptcy, and a habit of starting things she never finished. Her latest thing? Real estate investing. Said it like she invented the term. It's all about leverage, she told me once, balancing wine on her knee. You get someone else to carry the risk. That's the trick. At the time, I thought it was just wine talk. I didn't realize I was the someone else. That morning, packing my lunch, Evan's laptop chimed on the dining table. I never snooped. Not in 2 years. But something nudged me. Maybe instinct. Maybe Elaine's voice still echoing in my skull. I glanced at the screen. A Gmail tab. Open. Subject line, cosigner application, pre-approval ready. I froze, told myself it was spam. A mistake, something old, but the timestamp last night. Sent from a mortgage broker's office in Spokane. My name was on it, as the cosigner. The borrower, Kelsey. I stared at it for a full minute. My heart wasn't racing, it was doing something worse, slowing down, cold and heavy. I clicked into the email chain from Evan. Nari doesn't know yet. But I think she'll come around once she hears the reason. She's practical. This is the kind of thing she'd understand. If it were about numbers, we'll frame it that way. Another from Elaine, forwarded to both of them. Remind her she's family now. It's just paperwork. And if she ever complains, well, she's living in our house rent-free, isn't she? Our house. My house. Something inside me buckled, but it didn't break. Not this time. I closed the laptop slowly, like it might explode. Sat down, didn't cry, just stared at the wood grain on the table for a long time. Later that night, I played it normal. Chicken Alfredo, salad, wine. Evan talked about some customer who backed out on a car lease. I nodded, asked questions, smiled. He didn't notice anything. I didn't mention the email because suddenly I needed time. I needed to think, and I needed to watch them all more carefully. Evan, Elaine, Kelsey, they thought I'd say yes, maybe after a bit of prodding or guilt. They didn't realize I'd already learned how to say no with a smile. What struck me most wasn't the betrayal. It was the calculation. The way they all assumed I'd just go along. Elaine called 2 nights later. "Sweetheart," she cooed. "How are you feeling about helping Kelsey with the loan? She's just so close to getting her life back together." There it was. No pretense. Just the assumption of my compliance. I swallowed hard. "I'm still thinking," I said, voice steady. "I just want to understand the full picture." "Oh, of course," she said. But there was a twitch in her tone. "It's really very simple. Kelsey qualifies for everything except the cosigner. Just a formality. You'd be doing something noble." I almost laughed. Noble and Elaine speak meant convenient for us . "And the loan is just the beginning," she added. "We're planning to help her flip the place. Make a real investment, you know, like adults do." I let the silence stretch. "Nari?" she prompted. "I'm listening," I said. "Just taking notes." She chuckled. "That's why I love you. Always so precise. Not like some people." I knew who some people were. She meant her ex-in-law. The one who fought back. I wasn't fighting yet. I was gathering. Because if they were bold enough to do this behind my back, what else had they done? And what exactly was I co-signing on to besides debt? That weekend, Evan suggested we take Kelsey out for dinner. "She's been through a lot," he said. "I think you two just got off on the wrong foot. I want her to feel included." Included. Like she hadn't already included herself in my finances. At dinner, Kelsey wore a red dress. Too tight for comfort, too bright for a rainy night. She ordered lobster, rolled her eyes when I picked the grilled chicken. Come on, Nari, live a little. She smirked. You always act like your credit score is a personality trait. Evan laughed too hard. I looked at her, then at him, then I smiled. I just like knowing who's paying for what, I said softly. It's a survival instinct. She blinked. Evan went quiet. For the first time in months, I felt something shift. Something subtle but real. I wasn't the one who looked nervous anymore. And I wasn't planning to live in this version of my life much longer. I didn't sleep much that week. Not because I was afraid. Fear is sharp. Loud. What I felt was dull. A low, simmering ache in the chest that comes when something you built starts rotting from the inside. And the worst part? They thought I wouldn't notice. Evan kept treating me like the Nari he met 2 years ago. The woman who packed his lunch, let him have the remote, and always paid her share without asking how much his was. He didn't see what I was becoming. Not even when I started asking questions. Do you think Kelsey's really ready for a mortgage? I asked one night while we brushed our teeth. Evan's spit rinsed. She's turning over a new leaf. Is that before or after she defaulted on her last car loan? I said lightly. He didn't like that. His jaw twitched, but he smiled like it was a joke. This is different. She has us now. Translation. Me. The next day, I scheduled a meeting with a lawyer, friend of a friend. I brought the email printouts. Bank statements. Title deed to the house. You're still the sole owner, she confirmed. Prenup would have helped. But you're not in danger yet. I repeated. She leaned forward. They're pushing you to cosign because your name carries weight. That's not partnership. That's asset hunting. I nodded slowly. So what would you do? She smiled. I'd stop playing defense. That night, I moved my primary checking account to a separate credit union Evan didn't know about, changed my payroll deposit, froze my credit temporarily, even called the title office and confirmed my house was protected under Washington's community property laws since I bought it years before marriage. Then I waited. A few days later, Elaine invited me over for tea. Her version of diplomacy always involved something herbal and vaguely threatening. So good to see you, Nari, she said, pouring chamomile into floral cups. You look tired, trouble sleeping. When I can't sleep, I ask myself, am I withholding generosity? Works every time. I smiled. I usually just use melatonin. She dabbed her napkin, eyes narrowing. Evan tells me you're still unsure about helping Kelsey. I am. May I ask why? Voice as smooth as warm syrup. Because I've worked for everything I have, I said. And I don't hand over my name like a party favor. She tilted her head. It's not handing it over, dear, it's sharing. You married into this family. That means something. I set my cup down. It means I learned how you operate. She blinked. Excuse me? You maneuver people. You package guilt like a birthday gift. And then you smile and act like it's love. For the first time, Elaine didn't have a response. That evening, Evan was waiting in the kitchen when I got home, arms crossed. Why did you go to a lawyer? Straight to it. No greeting. Just heat. Because I got an email with my name on a loan application I didn't authorize. It was a draft. It had a submission time stamp. He sighed, rubbed his face. Look, this is just spiraling. You're acting like I tried to steal from you. Didn't you? Jesus, Nari. No. I just wanted to help my sister. She's family. So am I. He flinched. And you didn't tell me you'd already used our joint savings for the down payment deposit. That stopped him cold. He opened his mouth, then closed it. I checked, I said. You transferred $9,500 to a brokerage account in Kelsey's name. On Monday. I was going to explain when after I signed, he looked genuinely shaken for the first time. But not sorry, just caught. You've changed, he muttered. You used to be supportive. I used to be blind. Silence. Then he said it. The line that broke something permanent. Elaine warned me. She said you'd never be a real part of this family. I stared at him. Not angry, not sad. Just done. Tell her she was right. The next few days were mechanical. I filed paperwork, hired a notary, drew up a contract that converted our shared bank account into separate ones, notified Evan via certified mail. I removed his name from my medical directives, tax returns. I also met with a friend who ran a small property management LLC. Together, we drew up a rental agreement. I listed the house under the LLC's temporary management, created a legal framework that required any tenant current or future to pay market rent, with late fees. It was all in place. I was no longer Nari the wife. I was Nari the owner, and Evan? He was about to become Nari's tenant. All that was left was delivery. Elaine decided to host a family dinner. A celebration, she called it, of new beginnings. Kelsey had great news, apparently. Evan tried to play peacemaker, texted me that this dinner might be a reset button for all of us. I texted back, sure. Let's reset everything. I arrived early, wearing a slate gray dress and the calmest face I could find. The house smelled like baked ham and false reconciliation. Elaine greeted me at the door with that half hug. She reserved for people she was secretly auditioning to replace. You look professional, she said, eyes flicking down my outfit. Thanks, I came straight from something important. Oh? Lawyer's office? Her smile stiffened. Still dragging that out, huh? Nope, I said. It's all finalized. Inside, Kelsey was beaming. Evan looked nervous. I took my seat, folded my napkin, and waited. Elaine stood, raised her glass. To family, she said, voice sweet like poison. To doing the right thing for those we love. I raised my glass too. To getting what we deserve, I said. All of us. The moment hung in the air like overcooked ham. Too heavy, too thick, and starting to burn. Elaine sat down slowly, like she hadn't quite heard what I said. Evan blinked at me, a beat behind. Kelsey didn't even try to hide her smirk. So, she said, adjusting her chair like she was at a press conference. I just got pre-approved for the mortgage. She beamed, with a cosigner, of course. Her eyes flicked to me. Thanks for being such a team player, Nari. Evan chuckled nervously, nudging his glass. We knew you'd come around. Elaine clinked her fork against her plate. See? All that fretting for nothing. I told you Nari just needed time to remember what family means. I folded my napkin with precision, like I was prepping surgical tools. You're right. I did cosign something. Kelsey froze mid-bite. You what? Evan said. I cosigned, I repeated. Just not what you think. I reached into my bag, slid a folder across the table to Evan. His name printed neatly on the front. Go ahead. Open it. He flipped it open. His mouth started to move, but no sound came out. Elaine leaned in. What is this? A termination agreement, I said. For the joint bank account. The utilities. The emergency contacts, the tax records. I paused. Oh, and the marriage. Surprise. Silence. Then, you're joking. Kelsey laughed. She's joking, right? No, I said, calm as water. I'm not. Elaine's voice tightened. You're blowing up your marriage over a loan. I looked at her. No. Venom, just clarity. No, over the fact that my husband lied, stole from our shared savings, and plotted with his mother and sister to use me as a financial step stool. Evan's voice cracked. Nari, you don't understand. Oh, I do, I said. I understand everything now. This is dramatic, Elaine said, waving a hand. All of this, lawyers, paperwork, accusations over a misunderstanding. I pulled out one last paper. This is the rental contract, I said. Effective immediately, this home is being managed by a property LLC I now own. You'll receive your first invoice on Monday. Full market rate, plus backdated late fees for 2 months. Evan stood up. Face red. You wouldn't, already did. It's legal and binding. You can't do this to me. No, I said. Rising, you did this to you. Elaine's mask cracked. After everything we did for you, you mean the insults disguised as compliments? The fake affection? The manipulation? I turned to Kelsey. And you, just out of curiosity, what's your exit strategy? If this hadn't worked, find another idiot with a good credit score? She stood up, arms crossed. This is exactly why no one in this family trusted you. I smiled. No. It's exactly why I never should have trusted this family. I didn't slam the door when I left. That's not how I wanted this to end. Instead, I walked to my car with steady steps, the night air cool against my skin, the stars sharp and silent overhead. In the passenger seat was the last thing I brought from that house. A framed photo of my dad and me, standing in front of the freshly painted porch the day I bought the home. He was smiling. So was I. And now I finally understood what that look on his face meant. Pride. Peace. Ownership. A few weeks passed. Evan tried calling. A few times from his number. More from unknown ones. Then came the emails. You didn't have to go nuclear. We can fix this. Let's talk like adults. I didn't respond. Elaine posted something cryptic on Facebook. Some people are only loyal to their own ego. Choose family first. A mutual friend sent me a screenshot. I hearted it and moved on. Kelsey predictably disappeared, left town according to the property manager. Her investment dream never happened. Turns out lenders don't like default risk when there's no more naive wife to balance the scale. As for Evan, he eventually signed the divorce papers. I didn't demand spousal support. I didn't need to. He left the house in silence. Boxes in the trunk of his leased car. Dignity probably wedged somewhere under the spare tire. I changed the locks the next day. A month later, I hosted a small dinner at home. Just 3 friends. Wine. Music low. At one point, someone asked what had changed. I glanced around the room. Same walls. Same tile. Same little creak in the hallway near the bedroom door. And yet, Everything felt brighter. Nothing, I said, smiling. Just finally started living in my house. They laughed. I did too. And in that laugh was everything: grief, relief, and something close to joy. Later that night, as I washed dishes alone, I caught my reflection in the window. Same woman, same tired eyes. But now, I wasn't waiting to be part of someone else's family. I had my own, just me. And that was enough. No fireworks, no grandstanding, just clean plates, locked doors, and silence I didn't have to share. I went to bed without checking my phone, and I slept like someone who finally knew the difference between being needed and being used.